Hello, I'm Dr. Romy Paredes. I'm the founder of Biointegrative Health Link Center Incorporated, Cebu's leading exponent in integrative medical systems. And I'm also the founder of Wellness Land Health Institute, an integrated natural healing haven also in Cebu. This practice started my journey several years ago when I graduated in my school, University of the Philippines, College of Medicine. I'm class 1999. During that time, I was taking a maintenance drug for my urticaria. Urticaria is a form of allergy. So, I was taking an antihistamine until one day, I met somebody who practically shocked my mindset and told me, your drug, your antihistamine is not treating the root cause of your allergy. So basically that was my turning point as a medical doctor. After that incident, I had no choice because I was already spending part of my allowance for my maintenance drug. So I had no choice but to open my mind, to begin opening my mind to the other philosophies of medicine. So that was the beginning of my journey in this so-called less traveled road of medicine. Although in the beginning, I was skeptical, but as soon as I embraced the subject of integrative medicine and natural medicine, and then I began my practice here in Cebu, I had no choice but to gradually embrace the principles of nature, the principles of natural medicine. So day by day, we see in our patients, and we see in my medical practice, that nature really is the best healer. That's why in my latest book that I recently wrote, Health Made Ridiculously Simple, I put there that behind the complexities of health, behind the complexities of the medical world, there are only two major root causes of disease, which are toxicity and deficiency. Almost all medical diagnosis can be broken down into two. It's either a toxicity or it is a deficiency. What does toxicity mean? Toxicity means something is there in your body that is not supposed to be there. And what does deficiency mean? Deficiency means something is not there in your body that is supposed to be there. So with this premise, there are also two main bottom line solution to a lot of health problems, which is you treat the toxicity by detoxifying the toxicity, and you treat the deficiency by nourishing the deficiency. So basically, those are my bottom line guiding principles in helping or in empowering people to take control of their health. My life mission as the founder of Biointegrative Health Link Center Incorporated and Wellness Land Health Institute, my health mission is to empower people to take control of their health. Because if we don't take control of our health, then somebody will. That's why through the past maybe 6-7 years of my medical practice, I have gradually evolved into embracing more and more and more the simple basic rules of nature. There are things before that I use in like the alternative modalities that I open my mind also, but now I don't use it anymore. And maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, there may be things even now that in the future I may not be using them anymore. Because I am open to the natural evolution of the practice and to the natural evolution also of myself as a human being. So that's all. Thank you.
I am Maria Hasmin Cue. I live in Mambaling, Cebu City, and I am, praise God, I am an endometrial cancer stage 3 survivor. I am a real estate broker. Doon ko nakuha yung sakit ko eh.
Sige, pag-usapan natin yung sakit na yun.
Yeah. So stress.
Ano yung mga symptoms? What symptoms did you feel?
I had a spotting last May of 2009. Tapos, ini-ignore ko because I thought I'm in a menopausal stage. With the realtors, had a tree planting in Dumanhog that was July 5, 2009. Tapos nagbaon ako ng 8 large pampers.
Pampers talaga.
Yeah, pampers. Tapos naubos ko yung 8. Tapos sabi ko, I really have to see my my OB. Sabi ni doctor, it's not cancer, Jam. We'll have a pap smear. Then you come back 4 days after. After, hindi na ako bumalik kasi I was busy kasi hinahabol ko yung yung quota ko. Yeah, kasi ang incentive noon was cruise. Tapos kunti na lang kulang ko. Hindi talaga bumalik. Tinawagan ako ng secretary niya. Sabi ko, naku, natatakot na ako. It's unusual na tatawagan ka. So, when I get inside the clinic, sa office niya, sinabi ka ganyan, you have cancer. You will take me, I'm 100,000 or 50% magpa-ward ka or mag-charity ka without payment. Ganyan. Tapos, God is so good na di talaga ako, I accepted it with an open heart. Tapos sabi niya, Jam, hindi pwede what do you mean? Ano ba yun yung didilat kaya? Kasi dumidilat yung mata ko. sabi ko, Doc, I'm thinking of saan ako sa 100,000, sa 50%. Sabi ko, sa 50% na lang ako, Doc. Mag-ward ako, parang 50% ako sa'yo. After the operation, I found out na from the uterus, it went to the ovary, right ovary.
Anong stage? May stage?
Oo, stage 3A. So, pinapasa na niya ako sa oncology. Doon na I'll have to undergo 6 sessions of chemotherapy, and after that, I will have a series of radiation. Kasi pag nagka-cancer ka, confused ka talaga on what to do. Kasi yung iniisip mo lang talaga is the solution para ma-cure ka. So, yun, then maraming friends ko nang-suggest na mag-herbal ka, mag-ganyan-ganyan. So, I was really hesitant of chemotherapy kasi alam ko yun eh. And in fact, hindi nga ako uminom ng mga medicines kasi it's not good. So, but then nag-conflict yung schedule ko. I called up nagpabook ako kay Dr. Paredes, it's 4 o'clock. Tapos yung chemotherapy ko is 8 o'clock. So, na morning. So sabi ko, meant ako, God want me to have a chemotherapy. So doon ako, my chemo was, it was performed September 5, 2009. I was so thankful because during my chemotherapy, ang daming support. Prayers ng mga pare, mga madre, mga friends ko. During the session, I felt nahihirapan akong maghinga ba. Oo, then sabi niya, it's natural, ma'am. It so happened naman na I received a text coming from a friend. Sabi niya, don't worry, kasi Friday yun eh. I'm in Santo Niño, I'm praying for you. Then after that, nakatulog ako. So, naisip ko, kung hindi ako nakatulog, siguro, something wrong will happen to me kasi nahirapan talaga akong Then, when I wake up, tapos na. Sa second session ko, supposedly, 26 of September, the night before, I got my laboratory results, tapos tinitingnan ni doctor, tapos sabi niya, you have to cancel your second session. Sabi ko, why, doc? Sabi niya, your WBC is very low. Sabi ko, Tapos sabi niya, don't you know that most of the cancer patients will expire not of cancer, but of chemotherapy. Sabi ko, Doc, what do you mean expire? Sabi niya, expire. Naklaro ko talaga, sabi ko. So, in my subconscious mind, natatakot talaga ako. Sabi ko, expire? Ang lakas-lakas ko. Then, bigla ako mag-expire. Sabi niya, kasi, I asked him, sa pattern of treatment mo, saan ba talaga bababa ang WBC? So, he answered, sa 4th to 6th session. So, sa loob-loob ko, I am in my first stage, tapos ganun ang reaction ng body ko, hindi siya hiyang. Tapos natakot pa ako na yung sinabi niya na, mag-expire. Sabi niya, don't worry because I will give you a booster of, i-direct na daw dito sa tiyan ko para tataas yung, WBC ko. Tapos, I threw back a question to him. Sabi ko, how will you know if the quantity will be enough to counter if my WBC will fall down? Tapos, hindi siya sumagot. Tapos, na-realize ko na nung first session ko, nahirapan na ako maghinga. Tapos, ganon, hindi talaga. Tapos, nag-aas ako ng maraming friends ko na nagka-cancer. Sabi nila, Jam, hindi ko sinabi na I will stop, no? Sabi nila, Jam, pag nandun ka na sa 4th to 6th session, para ka na mamatay. Kasi lahat ng infections nandun na. Doon ako nag-decide na I will stop my chemotherapy kasi hindi kaya ng katawan ko. Yeah, so September 29, I came to see Dr. Paredes na with a friend. Tapos, nagmamas pa nga ako eh. Tapos, my first question to him was, Doc, pwede pa akong tanggalin ko yung mask ko? Kasi most of my friends will cry if they will see me. Kasi hindi sila sanay to see me like this. Kasi ang masayahin ako. Sabi niya, yes, right now, you can take. Tapos sabi ko, Doc, pwede akong makapasyal sa mall? Pwede akong manood ng sine? Yeah, you can go! Tapos sabi ko, sa loob-loob ko, I was so happy talaga na, sige, mag-celebrate ako. We'll eat in a restaurant, yung friend ko. Tapos, I was really happy na, hindi na ako nagmamas. So, I came back to Dr. Paredes. Sabi ko, Doc, bakit wala akong immunotherapy? Kasi sabi ng friend ko, every Thursday siya. Tapos sabi niya, classmate tayo sa Tapos sabi ko, Doc, bakit ako wala? Sabi niya, Jam, no need kang mag-immunotherapy. Sabi ko, bakit? Sabi niya, don't you know that you look like na, parang wala kang cancer? You're so positive. Right after pagpunta ko kay doktor, hindi na ako, naging vegetarian ako.
Okay.
Yeah. So, na-realize ko, during the lowest moment of my life, there was an intercession of Mama Mary, kasi miracles happen, ang daming milagro na
Can you share it with us?
Because the first one was when my OP told me about it. Tapos di ako nag-react. I accepted with an open heart. It's a miracle already. Tapos my concern was how will I tell it to my family. Tapos yung husband ko, madaling umiyak yun. Tapos yun, from that time on, he goes to church regularly na after his work, ganyan. Tapos yung service ko na multi-cab was sold on Mama Mary's birthday, September 8, na nandyan lang ako sa bahay namin. Yung bumibili ang nagpunta doon sa amin. Tapos sabi niya, Ma'am, I'll do everything kasi yung CR ng car ko, nawala. Sabi niya, Ma'am, I'll do everything. I understand your situation. Ako na lang mag-process na Tapos, yun, my hospital bills was shouldered by PAGCOR. Tapos, yung chemotherapy ko was sponsored by my sister. Tapos sabi ko, God is there.
So, what field you?
I borrowed books from Dr. Paredes, yung medical at saka yung spiritual. Tapos yung causes ng cancer, I changed my eating habit. Tapos, I take vitamins, I sleep early. I bought a fountain na maliit. Na pag nasa sala ako, yung parang ang water, mag-flow, ganyan. Oo. Tapos, mga February of 2010, kasi hinantay ko, it will be Mama Mary's birthday, Our Lady of Lourdes, February 11. Sabi ko, I'm healed na. I told Dr. Paredes, Doc, okay ba na mag-transvaginal ako, yung mag-CA125 ako, a test for my ovary. Sabi niya, wag muna, it's too early. Sabi ko, no, okay lang sa akin, Doc, kasi if I have cancer, okay lang naman eh. I underwent the test, yung transvaginal, yung CA125, tapos, it was normal. Yeah. Yun, I was okay. So, I brought the results to Dr. Paredes, then I brought it to my OB, and she was surprised to see me again. Sabi niya, Jan, you're okay? Sabi ko, yeah, here are the results. Sabi niya, come, we'll have a pap smear. Yun, pinapap smear pa rin niya ako. Then, it was normal. Oo, normal. Tapos sabi ni Dr. Paredes, no need for you to come here anymore. After here, mag-zipline. Kaya nag-t-shirt ako.
I'm Mr. Omar Atadero.
Nung bago po kayo magpa-treat kay Dr. Romy, ano po yung mga nararamdaman?
Ako, talagang mahirap. First of all, kasing trabaho ko, isa kong goldsmith.
Goldsmith?
Okay, gumagawa
Saan po
ng
kayo?
repairing alahas.
Okay.
Okay. One time, wala akong nararamdaman kahit ano. Wala talaga. Kaya nung isang araw, may inihatid ako na stock sa aking customer. Tapos bumalik ako dun sa shop. Naramdaman ko, bakit ako mahirap huminga? Ang hirap huminga, saka sumasakit dito, oh. Ang chest ko sumasakit. Kaya lumakad ako mga 10 steps, humingal ako. Ano ba ito? This is my first time yung ganito. Pero talagang kasi ako bibo eh. Bidyante ako. Oo. Gusto ko palaging happy. Wala nang panaramdaman kahit ano. So yun lang. Bakit ganito? Hanggang sabi ko, stress na siguro ito. So after 3 days, ganun pa rin. Lakad ko mga 10 steps, sumasakit, masakit huminga, mahirap. Pagkatapos, one night, ating gabi, mga 12 o'clock na. Sabi ko, bakit hindi ako makatulog? Bakit mahirap sumasakit? Yung sakit niya, nanggagaling dito sa gitna. Oo. Tapos, spread out. Sabi ko, iba na ito. Tawag ko sa anak ko, anak, pwede ba dalhin niyo ako sa ospital? Kasi nahihirapan ako huminga. Saka masakit ang dibdib ko. While we were waiting the taxi, sabi ko, wala naman. Balik lang sa anak. Kasi, pag pumunta kami ng ospital, gagastos talaga. Sabi ko, wala naman tayong pera, anak. Tawagan mo muna ang nanay mo. Sa Mindanao, saan niyo ba yung lagay ang mga lahas? Kasi iprinda natin, baka ma-admit ako doon. So, tumawag siya, sabi niya, andyan sa kabinet. Sige, prinda mo sa Lulier. Magkano pera to? Mga 2,005 na siguro. Sabi ko, pang deposito, okay na ito. Tapos hanggang sumakay namin yung taxi, papunta ng pwede maanong sa hospital. Kasi po doktor sa hospital, maraming testing, no? Maraming aparatos ang inilagay sa akin. So, ako tawa-tawa lang. Sabi ko, maybe it's the time. Kunin ako ni Lord. ang iniisip ko, hindi na mamatay ako. Kasi pag namatay ako, sabi ko, I'm sure of heaven. Because I'm saved. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior. So, ang inaalala ko lang yung babayaran sa ospital. So, sabi ng doktor, yung attendant doon, ano sir, kailangan ka mag-deposit 5,000, ha? Ang pera namin, ano lang, 2,500. So, tumating ang brother-in-law ko. Sabi niya, may pera ka lang kuya. So, sabi ko, ito lang pura, pera namin, 2,500 lang. Sige, 5,000 daw, ano, dagdagan ko na lang. So, na-admit ako. Tapos, natulog ako doon. Sabi ng doktor, ako, hindi pwede ito. Kailangan ma-ICU ka. Dok, wala lang ICU. Eh, wala tayong magagawa. Yun na lang. So, na-ICU ko, maraming testing doon. Pagkatapos, pumasok yung doktor siguro, kailangan ma-angiogram ka. Bakit to? Iyon ang testing na malalaman kung may block bang ang vein mo, artery. Sige to. Magkano dok? Sabi, deposit ka 30,000. Sabi ko, patay. Lord, what is this? Sabi ko. So, my family were praying. My relatives, my friends, the church were praying. So, sabi ko, if it is the time, Lord, okay. Pero pag wala, it's okay rin. Pag binuwain mo ko, okay. They will be done, sabi ko. So, pagkatapos nun, may dumating na pera. Yung kaibigan ko na matanda, pumasok dun sa ICU. Sabi niya, Brad, I am here. Tulong ko sa iyo. Binigyan niya ako ng pera. 40,000. On the right time. Pagkatapos, pagbigay niya ng pera, may pumasok na naman. May isang babae naman, oh ito, isang rasa iyo. Another 5,000. Sabi ko, thank you Lord, you are so good. So, pagkatapos nun, dinala na, bayad na, dinala ako sa ano, dun sa isang room na pakaginaw para angiogram. Sabi niya, doktor, tingnan mo, nakamonitor eh. Nako sir, you are a walking time bomb. Ha? Bakit? Kasi iyong artery mo block 100%. So, anong gagawin dok? Sabi niya, kailangan bukas na bukas maoperahan ka for bypass operation. Ha? Magkano dok? Maganda ka ng 1 million. Oh Lord, kunin mo na ako. 1 million. Sabi ko, wala akong pera. Sabi ng doktor, another option sir, i-angioplasty. Magkano? 750,000, wala pa rin akong pera. Sabi ko, Dok, talagang wala akong pera. 2 araw na ako sa ICU. Sabi ng doktor, nako, wala palang bala ito. Sabi ng doktor, ako, wala palang bala ito. Eh ano, medication na lang tayo. Sabi ko, sige Dok, medication na lang. Total, sinabi ko sa inyo, ikaw bahala ngayon, no? Kung mabuhay yun pa ako, okay. Kung hindi, okay pa rin. So, ang nangyari, pagkatapos nun, medikasyon. So, after mga 3 days ako lumabas sa ospital, kung binayaran ko 110,000. So, talagang wala akong pera. Pero nagpa-process na kami ni Miss, ang mga anak ko kasi misis ko sa mga Mindanao. Sabi ng, nilagay doon sa billing, 110,000. Oh my Lord, thy will be done. Sabi ko, kasi sabi ng Panginoon, commit thyself unto the Lord, And he said, direct thy paths. Sabi niya, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lay not unto thine own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge Him. And he said, direct thy paths. Okay. Lord, ikaw ang Panginoon ko. You own everything. I trusted you. So pagkatapos nun, lalabas na kami. Wala akong pera. Naku, may dumating na naman. Ito, 20,000. No, ito, 10,000. O, ito, 1,000. Ito, 500. Hanggang nakabayad kami sa 110,000. So, ang pera ko, nang lumabas kami, only 300 para pang taxi. Lord, perfect talaga yung plano mo sa buhay ko. Pagkatapos noon, doon na kami sa bahay, tinitingnan ko yung resita. Parang 5 resita yun. Mayroon sa heart, mayroon sa cholesterol, mayroon sa high blood, mayroon sa kidney, mayroon sa diabetes. Kasi mataas ang sugar ko. So, every day, I was able to spend 600 pesos a day. So, hindi na ako nakatrabaho, wala akong trabaho sa aking kukuha. Pagdating doon sa bahay, yung 300 ko kinunan pa ng taxi, 150 to 150 na lang. Sabi ko, Lord, wala kaming bugas. Saka Lord, may bill pa dumating sa water at sa light. Anong gagawin ko? So, sabi mo, Lord, trust in thee. Yun lang. Nang after 10 minutes, take mo to. At Adero Omar, sabi ko, ano ba ito? Bill na naman. So, Lord, thy will be done. Sabi niya, Sir, ito, tangkap ko. Galing ito sa SSS. Chiki, 10,000. Oh, Lord, thank you. So, umiyak ako. Right timing ba, Panginoon? Sabi ko, pambili na ako ng gamot ko. Yan mismong hapon na yung pagdating ng Chiki, pumunta ako ng bangko. Talagang kahit na masakit ito, I forced myself to do it because wala kami pambili ng gamot. So, pagkatapos nun, bili ako ng gamot. For how many months? 2 months. Ganun pa rin. Ganun pa rin within 2 months. So, sabi ng customer ko may dumating, Yamar, ang sakit mo, katulad yan ng Mr. Cook. May pira na kami na 1 million. Punta na kami sa Manila, sa Heart Center, i-bypass. Pero nag-second opinion kami. Kasi may nagsabi sa amin, dalhin mo niyan sa integrative medicine, sa herbal. Bakit? Anong nangyari mo? Mar, by the grace of God, na-change ng asawa ko, nagaling na siya. Talagang cure. Na-cure na siya. Ha? O sige mo, pupunta kami doon. Tapos yung asawa ko, may relative siya na trabaho doon sa istasyon ng radyo, DYSS. Sabi niya, punta ka doon kay Dr. Paredes kasi magaling yun. Ang ginagamit, hindi yung gamot butika. Ano lang, food supplement lang, herbal. Anong nangyari sa iyo? Niya, katulad din sa iyo. Sabi niya sa akin. So, sige, pumunta kami. Dala ko mga records. Hindi ko sinabi kay Dr. Paredes ang sakit ko. Ito sa in my mind, talagang shooter talaga siya. Nalaman yung sakit ko. Pagkatapos, sabi niya, Sir, wala kang sakit. Ha? Bakit wala akong sakit? Lahat ng mga organ mo, okay. Pero isa lang ang diferensya sa iyo. Ano do? Blood circulation. Niristahan niya ako ng 2 food supplement lang. Bili po kay doktor kasi hindi na bumadali ba? Mga 1 oras siguro mo. Yung explanation niya.
Pero ano po ang nabago sa pagkain?
Talagang wala na. Sabi ng doktor, doon, si Dr. Paredes, low salt, low fat, saka yung, kasi may diabetes ako. Sa sugar mo, kailangan magbantay sa kinakain mo. Soft drink, wala na. Oo, talaga, wala lang soft drink. Ano na lang, tubig. Umiinom ko ng 2 liters a day sa tubig. Pinakamababa yun, 2 liters a day. Every day, inom ka isang baso. Ano lang, ng 100 ng apple juice. Fresh apple juice. Okay? I-mix mo ng ano, yung carrots. So every day,
Para sa
para katulong daw sa pag-ano ng circulation sa dugo. Kasi apple. And lo and behold, mga 7 months ko siguro nga ininom yun, may lumabas sa akin na kidney stone. Ganito, mga 1.5 cm siguro. Kasi noon, mataba ako eh. Ganitong, anong katawan ko na, no? Makataba. May ligaw kasi sa, ano, sa fast foods. Burger, iced tea, soft drinks, araw-araw yun. Araw-araw yun.
ilang taon kayo?
Inasal, litson manok. Napakarami talaga. So, doon ko nakita na hindi talaga mabuti yung mga meat sa katawan ng tao. Talagang maganda yung prutas at saka vegetables at saka tubig. And first of all, kailangan spirit-filled ka. Kailangan unahin natin ang Panginoon.
Wala kayong vices ng sigarilyo?
Wala akong vices. Wala. Kain lang.
Kain lang.
Oo. Yung at saka yung umuso dito sa Cebu, yung eat all you can. Nako, halos linggo-linggo. Diyan kami sa eat all you can.
So sa ngayon ho, wala na kayong nararamdaman?
Wala na.
Wala na.
Oo. Okay na.
Maintain nyo na. Maintain na lang.
Oo, maintain na lang. Dalawa. Sa kaunting exercise. Nagkakalistin ka ko. Oo.
Mukhang healthy naman kayo na.
Sa Panginoon lahat ito eh.
Yeah, I'm Carlos Co. I'm now 65 years old. I've been living in Cebu for I think almost the past 58 years already. The primary problem I had in the past is just really what we call I would get erratic heartbeat sometimes, which happened about 15 years ago. I didn't even notice I had it until I went to the doctor to check for my monthly checkup on my EKG. And the doctor found out that I have erratic heartbeat. So that very night I was sent to the ICU for more checkup for almost 3 nights or 4 nights. And after that I came out of the ICU and stayed for the regular room another 2 days for further monitoring. After that I got out of the hospital. I was asking the doctor what happened, what really happened, what triggered everything. He said, we don't really know the reason why it happened, because during the ICU we just cannot monitor. We cannot. The monitor was there all the time, but it did not happen anymore. So I said, what could be the reason that it could happen? That they said, medically there's still no. They still have no reason to say what can cause it, because medically they still do not know. So until a few months after, I said, it's still happening. I said, why don't you have the holster again? So I had the holster again. Then at the very last, by a few minutes, it was captured. So I said, well, it was captured in the last few minutes, so it was, and they were telling me that until now, medically they still do not know what causes it and what cure can they do with it. One of the doctors giving me medicine which I searched in the book. It was about lowering my blood pressure. So I said to myself, why should I buy this medicine? In fact, my pressure is normal. When I have this problem, my blood pressure will go down, not up. So it's really the reverse. But unfortunately, medically right now, there's really very few medicine that will really increase your blood pressure. Most of it is just to lower the blood pressure because there's no need. Very few people need that. So pharmaceutical firms also doesn't have the need to produce one with which there's practically no demand. They only produce something which there will be the demand for that. So anyway, I went through life like that. And I would go for my therapy almost weekly until my therapist was telling me that with leukemia. So I don't know what happened, but somebody referred him to see Dr. Paredes at that time. That's about 10 years ago. And apparently he was given certain supplement. And after a few weeks, I think he felt fine and better. So I was saying, why don't I go and see Dr. Paredes for that? I said, well, nothing wrong with it. So I came over to see Dr. Paredes at MG Cuenco at that time. So I told him about my problem. So what he did just give me supplement of heart. So I noticed after 2-3 months, I don't feel my heartbeat anymore. Unlike before that, I would just really feel the heart beating, boop, 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 the irregular heartbeat, really the sound itself and the heart beating. After 6 months, I was probably having it once or twice a month. Then just only for a few seconds. So the doctor, that it's still there, but not as frequent as before. I don't feel the pumping of the heart anymore. So after a year, I noticed that I did not feel it anymore. Last Christmas, it was 2010, December 20, when I had my appendicitis burst. I didn't know my appendicitis burst already because I feel my stomach was very full and I feel a pain down in my right lower abdomen. Okay, the following day, I said, Doc, it's still there. The pain did not really go away. So she said, why don't you just go to the laboratory and check your blood, whether your red blood and white blood, what is taking condition. So I went there, HP laboratory, I did check. When they found out that my red blood was really very, very low, while my white blood was very, very high, he said, I think your appetite has burst already. He said you should go get a surgeon to do it and get opinion from the surgeon. So that very noon I went to the Chong Hospital. He said that, well, shows that the appendix burst already, there's infection inside. He said you have to go through surgery. I said, yeah, go ahead. So I went through surgery. I was told that, well, after your surgery, probably in 3-4 hours after post-surgery, you can go to the normal room already. When I wake up, I was in the ICU already. I said, what happened? Well, how come I'm in the ICU? He said, your heart was pumping as high as 130 already. During surgery, it went up as high as 180. So they were afraid my heart might give way. So I said, well, I have nothing to do except have to wait for whatever you're going to do to improve to bring down my heartbeat. But anyway, they give me a lot of medicine to bring down my heartbeat. Apparently, it did not. I think I was there in the ICU for almost 7 days, I think. Well, another day or two, if your heartbeat doesn't really go down, I think you can go home already because right now there's nothing we really can do about it anymore because medically, I think right now they told it was what we call AF, atrial fibrillation. Right now, atrial fibrillation, so far medically, there's really no medicine to really cure it immediately, except they would give certain medicine to, like Vitalog, to bring down the heartbeat lower. But fortunately, on the eve of 31, but in the afternoon of 31, my heartbeat suddenly went normal. I saw it in the monitor from 130, 140. It just went down suddenly to 60. And well, the usual thing that happened with me, when my heartbeat goes from AF to normal, I would get easy about that. So I said, well, something's gonna happen. So I look at the monitor. The heartbeat was down to 60 already. So I said, I think it's normal already. So the nurse saw it and reported to the doctor, and the doctor cannot believe it happened. He said, no, that's not possible in so short a time. been flat for 1 whole week. It was really going that high. They came over, they checked everything. He said, well, it's normal. So he said, well, you can get out tomorrow because nothing we can do about it. You're normal already. This is what we were just waiting for it to happen. And when I went home, unfortunately, 2 days after, my heartbeat went up again to about, I think, 110, 120. So I went to see my cardiologist. He said, you better go to the ICU just to be sure, just to monitor it again. So I went to the ICU again for another probably 7 days or 5 days, I can't really remember now. I got a second cardiologist opinion, and he said, why don't you try what we call electrocardiogram shock? Anyway, when I woke up, I think about 10-15 minutes after, my heart went back to normal already. The doctor told me, well, congratulations, your heart has gone back to normal. I said, well, thank you, doc. But next day, the heartbeat went up again to 110, 120.
Really erratic.
So the doctor told me, well, your normal heartbeat just lasted only about less than half a day. He said, so for the moment, he would not recommend any other procedure anymore. He said, normally heartbeat like that can go back to normal anytime. You don't really know, and we don't you get predict also when can it happen. But when I got home, I took all the supplements that Dr. Paris gave me, so I started taking them at home. I noticed with this, I recovered much faster.
Sir, based on your experience, you can say that alternative medicine works, like it has a positive effect on the body.
Well, definitely. Actually, I went through this alternative medicine even 10 years ago. Before I met Dr. Paris about it, I was already starting to avoid Western medicine already. Well, I guess I have been taking Western medicine, I think, for the last more than 10 years already. Every time something happens, I would take other alternative medicine.
You didn't have any doubt that it would work for you?
But I still believe it does better. Well, definitely, because Western medicine, one thing for sure is mostly chemically formulated. While alternative medicine are mostly what we call herbal or natural in nature, is part of our body structure. So it is not it's not toxic to the body per se.
How is your lifestyle, sir? Is it stressful?
Well, I try to work in the office, then do volunteer work in the church.
How about your diet?
But I try to minimize taking meat or poultry, more on seafood and vegetables and fruits.
Exercise.
Yeah, actually, I make it a point to walk every morning for about an hour.
I am Father Oscar Kawamoto, diocesan priest. I was ordained in 1960. And then practically, I left almost immediately for the United States to take my postgraduate studies at the Catholic University of America. And then after that, I came back in 1970. And I worked here for some time, assisting my uncle. In 1974, I left for Brazil. And I stayed in Brazil for 14 years doing mission work there. After that, I came back. And then I thought that what I experienced in Brazil, I could at least experiment here, but that was impossible. So I decided to work on trying to establish cooperatives. So I established a group here we call CARLA, the Cebu Archdiocesan Rural Labor Apostolate. I started with giving seminars all throughout Cebu and even some dioceses out of Cebu. Like I came back here and I did not have any strength at the time. And so our group here decided to send me to the hospital for an executive checkup. So in the executive checkup, they found out that I had something wrong with my heart. I had something wrong with my cholesterol, with my sugar. I had something wrong with my prostate. And so the doctor prescribed me 8 over-the-counter drugs to take every day, religiously for 1 month. Then when I checked with the pharmacy, I was informed that the 8 drugs would cost me 500 a day. I thought I cannot afford that. I have to feed the children here, so I cannot spend that much anyway. So I didn't take any medication at all. Then a friend of ours from Hawaii sent me a box, 1 whole box of liquid chlorophyll. I started reading the brochure. I said, perhaps this is good. It's herbal. So I started taking. Then I started to gain strength. So I left the over-the-counter drugs. All of the drugs I didn't buy anymore. I started taking religiously the liquid chlorophyll. And I got better. But then every time I do this, I consult with Dr. Paredes. He gave me other medicines to take, but I got better. But then I started to have cough. Then I went to Dr. Paredes, and the doctor said, okay, you take these antibiotics. So I took the antibiotics, but the antibiotics is the homeopathic. So yes, no. So he said, take this for 10 days. But because my cough did not go away, so after that he said, perhaps you should take an X-ray. So I took an X-ray, front X-ray, chest X-ray, and then the result of the X-ray showed that I had what they call there a cavitating lesion in my upper left lung. And so the doctor recommended another X-ray. So I had another X-ray. But then the result of the X-ray was not conclusive. So they suggested a CT scan. And I talked to Dr. Paredes. I told him, I'm not going to take a CT scan. First, I mean, it's too expensive. 10,000 for the CT scan. It is not medication. It's just going to tell the doctors what the thing really is. So I told her, whatever you suspect that, you just give me the medication. Whatever you suspect, I don't care. And so he prescribed for me a diet, morning, noon, and evening. Then I continued to take that. And then again, they brought me to the hospital for another X-ray. When I got to the hospital for a checkup, they took X-ray again, chest X-ray. I have a nephew there at the hospital, and he said, Uncle, it says that in the report from the X-ray, high precision X-ray, that you had another X-ray before showing that you had a lesion. Yes, I told him yes. Can I see that? So I showed that to my nephew. So that's erased, that's gone. It's only now fibrosis. So I told him, if that's the case, then I was not taking any medication at all. So I attributed that, first of all, to my faith in God. I told God I'm old enough, then I'm ready to go. But then perhaps there are some other things like my faith in taking those herbal medicines. I placed my faith in that, and I told myself that God has the power to make these medicines work in me. The diet that Dr. Paredes has prescribed for me. That's why I think I'm getting better.
How about your other ailments, like
don't feel prostate. I don't know. Before I had I would be going to the toilet in the evening very often. No.
So your heart is okay?
I think so. You know, I'm feeling much better. Like yesterday, for example, I had 3 masses, 2 in the morning and 1 in the evening. And those masses, especially if they are requested, they're very taxing. Because I don't want just to celebrate Mass and then get away with it. Rather, I have to at least give justice to the celebration of the Holy Sacrifice. So I take my time on that. So I was not tired after. I came home very late already, that's why I could not really email Dr. Paredes. But I was feeling alright.
So basically, you're going for alternative healing
Yes.
methods is because of the cost involved when you go for the traditional.
Not really the cost, but I think that if God has created these things, then there must be something in those things. My thinking is that we depend too much on what we make as human beings. But then we forget that God is much, much bigger than we are. And we continue taking those things and we are not sure of the side effects. But here are those things that proven already that can provide some relief, at least not cure. Why do we have to take those things?
No change in your lifestyle before and after?
Oh, I have to change my diet.
Oh, you
That
do.
definitely have to change my
How
diet.
about exercise?
Exercise, I do some exercise. I go walk. No, Dr. Paredes told me that you can go back to the diet before. I can take meat. But I have decided for myself to take minimum meat. That's the nice thing with Dr. Paredes. He does not force you to do. That's what you want. Let's do it.
Ako po si Wenceslao Winnie Badayos. Ako ang chairman ng KMU dito sa Cebu. At saka kung mayroong mga issues na nagpo-protesta, ganon, nasa kami. Noong 1992, nagsuffer ako ng mild stroke.
Oh my God.
So may maintenance ako ng gamot. Pero yung maintenance ko na gamot, ayun rin ang nagkaroon ng komplikasyon at nagkaroon ako ng ibang karamdaman. Halimbawa yung maintenance ko, nagkaroon ako ng ulcer. So nung nagamot na yung ulcer ko, ang naramdaman ko naman, yung may enlargement sa heart. Nung na-diagnose sa doktor ko sa cardio, may enlargement. Nung naggamot na tong enlargement sa heart, hindi pa rin na kung ano yung karamdaman ko dahil mahirap ako maghinga paggabi. Tapos kung maglakad ako na paangat, ganun, mahirap,
Pagod agad.
sakit ang dibdib. Nung bumalik ako sa doktor ko, ipa-undergo ako niya ng lahat ng mga laboratory. Nung una, yung ECG, tapos sabi niya mayroong defekto sa heart ko pero hindi niya makita. Every time na mayroong laboratory, may dagdag na gamot. Hindi nabawasan yung naramdaman ko. Mukhang nag-deteriorate o lumala pa rin. Di sabi niya, sige, under ko ka ng kuhaan. To the echo, pagkatapos ng to the echo, na kuhaan pa ko niya sa stress echo, ganun. Pero hindi pa rin niya kung ano talaga yung nangyari sa heart ko. In-advise na naman niya na conduct ako sa nuclear test. Pagkatapos ng nuclear test, sabi niya kailangan daw dahil para ma-determinar kung saang part yung mayroong defect. Kailangan daw yung angiogram. Yung angiogram. O sige, nagkaroon ng angiogram. Pagkatapos ng angiogram, sabi niya, another operation na naman. Sabi niya, angioplasty. Sabi ko, wala na akong pera, Dok. Malaki ng gastos ko. Bawat laboratory, hindi para ito para panggamot. Pagditik lang. Pero naandigil ko na ko ang lahat ng mga laboratory, pero wala pa rin ano. Hanggang sa natapos yung angiogram, sabi niya, i-angioplasty. Sabi ko, sige, gawin ko ng paraan. Kung may pera ako, magpa-angioplasty. Dahil gusto ko namang mabuhay. Sabi ko, magkano ba talaga yung magastos sa angioplasty? Sabi niya, mga 500,000. Sabi ko, mamatay na lang ako doon. Hindi ko naman kaya yon. Sabi ko, kung i-angioplasty, ano bang tsansa na wala bang komplikasyon? Sabi niya, hindi natin masisiguro nga walang komplikasyon. Yan ang sabi. Sabi ko, kung magkaroon ng komplikasyon, ang pupuntahan ko bypass. Sabi niya, magkano naman din ang gasto sa bypass? Sabi niya, mga 1 million daw. Maggasto ako ng angioplasty, 500,000. Tapos pag mayroong komplikasyon, gagasto ulit ako 1 million. Sana ako hanap ng pera ng 1 million. Sabi ko sa kanya. Naghanap kami, kasama kong misis ko, nagpunta kami sa isang foundation. Sabi ng isang staff doon na kaibigan ko, sabi niya, subukan mo si Dr. Paredes. Sabi niya, subukan mo lang. Ako nang magbayad sa consultation fee. Sige, subukan na. Nagpunta kami kay Dr. Paredes. Dala-dala ko tong mga result, pero hindi ko binigay kay doktor. Hindi ko pinakita. Tinest ako niya, makita niya na mayroong nakatukma sa angiogram. Inano ako ni Dr. Paredes, sabi niya, sige, subukan mo to. Ang maraming bawal na pagkain. Halimbawa, sabi niya, huwag na kayong kakain na mayroong bitsin. Huwag kayong kakain na mga processed foods, mga canned foods. Huwag kayong kakain dyan. Huwag kayong inom ng coke at saka yung soap, yung coffee. Tapos, ang pinakain lang sa akin, yung isda at saka gulay. Ganun. After 2 months, hindi na ako inatake. 2 months din nagbalik ako ni Dr. Paredes. Sabi niya, ano nang karamdaman mo? Sabi ko, hindi na ako inatake doon. Siya, maintain mo lang. Hanggang ngayon, hindi na ako inatake.
Ako si Julio Baso.
Okay, Julio.
Inatake siya habang nagtatrabaho. Inatake. Tapos, hindi pinaalam sa amin ng employer niya. Dinala siya sa hospital dahil walang malay dyan. Nag-coma, tapos hindi makagalaw, paralyzed. Nung nagpuntahan namin siya, walang alam. Hindi makakilala ng tao. Dahil paralisado, tapos parang coma. Sa mga doktor, cervical angiogram. Nung nagkaroon na ng cervical angiogram, pinakita namin kay doktor ang result. Nung nakita niya, sabi niya, nung advice ng mga doktor dyan, sabi niya namin na operahan daw siya sa ulo. Kailangan isalba, sabi nila, 50-50 yung niya, buhay. Ang advice ni Dr. Paredes, sabi niya, huwag ninyong pa-operahan. Ilabas niyo sa ospital. Nag-sign kami ng waiver, labas kami. Ang hirap sa inyo, parang naniwala kayo sa mga quack doktor. Yun ang sabi, no? Sabi namin, quack doktor ba si Dr. Paredes? Hindi naman. Parang graduate naman sa natawa lang kami. Sabi namin, yun talaga, Dok, pag walang pera. Yun ang paraan sa mga mahirap. Pag walang pera, naniniwala kami kahit para kung makatulong naman sa ano, sa pag ano, ng karamdaman. Sabi namin, ano ba ang maitulong mo para sa paggamot? Binigyan kami ng kuan niya, parang hindi namin alam kung anong pangalan to, powder, para i-consume nimo for 2 months. Tapos, acupuncture. Acupuncture. Para mas madali yung paglunas sa ano niya. Yun ang ginawa namin sa kanya. After mga 2 weeks, nakagalaw na siya. Tapos, nakapagsalita na. Ang ganun. Hanggang 1 month o 2 months, hanggang naubos yung yung powder at saka minti namin yung kuan. Nakalakad na siya. Dinala namin siya dito. Nagulat nga si Dr. Paredes.
Kumusta po ang nararamdaman niyo ngayon? Wala na ba?
Natural na ako sa balik na.
Talaga kung medyo ang pagsasalita niyo o dahil sa stroke, sa atake?
Okay na.
Ganyan talaga yung pagsasalita niyo.
Ayan talaga yung ano niya.
At
Mahina magsalita.
Baka na-apektuhan yung hindi naman.
Mahina ko talaga.
Salita. Shy.
Mahina magsalita talaga.
I'm Sister Irumelde, SSP, missionary, member of the Missionary Servants. I will be called into Pilarian in May. Wow!
I am Hans Peter Lindgren. I am from Denmark, and I was born a long time ago, too long, much too long, 84, almost 85 years ago, and I've been living here for 13 years.
In Cebu?
In Cebu, almost all the time. I landed in Manila. I was robbed immediately. And if I had not been robbed, I wouldn't be here. So we made a little film on that in Bigfoot. And the last words are, if I had not been robbed, I wouldn't be here. So if ever I find the guy who robbed me, I'll give him $1 million if I have one. Because it opened another life for me, second life. Huh? And I don't think I could have found a life as good as this anywhere else on this planet. Nice people around NPA. In 2004, I got this problem. It wasn't very serious, but I played tennis. And when you play tennis and you're over 60, you should be careful. So every year I have stress echocardiogram. and it showed that my heart was not so good, but I wasn't bad. But the doctors wanted me to be bad because they want money. Even after a minute or two, the doctor started as if I was already dying. And I knew immediately what kind of a guy he was. He wanted to make some money. They wanted to give me an angiogram, and you know, if you take an angiogram, you can die from that. But they conveniently forgot to tell me that I could die, which is very, very improper, very bad, because I have to take the decision if I want to take a chance. They don't take decisions on my life, on my part. But that's what they do. That wasn't the only time. So I got an angiogram, and on the basis of that, they said that I was a walking time bomb, and that I could only live if I had an immediate bypass. That was the only thing that could help me. That was what I was told, and I agreed. But they told me a lie, because bypass was not the only thing that could help me. Something else could help me much better. Then, in the 11th hour, at 10 o'clock in the evening, and the operation was scheduled for 9 o'clock in the morning, a German friend of mine, he came, sat down, he said, "Did they tell you about chelation?" "What's chelation?" "Well, chelation is this, and it so. So, half an hour later, we were on our way out of the hospital in his car. So my life was saved that moment. I mean, it's a miracle. It is a miracle that that guy sat down by my bed 11 hours before the operation. If he had not done that, I might not have been here. Simple. So that was a miracle, but I have survived on so many miracles, but this is only one. But I was just very lucky. But think of all the thousands who don't have a guy to sit down by your bed and tell you, "Now this, don't do this." Well, I'm not going to be very serious, but I could have helped already those who are now 6 feet under. Many, many people are 6 feet under who could be here with us and have fun with us today if it wasn't because of bypass. Where's my tennis racket? I put it here so I could remember it. Because I cannot play tennis. I wanted to show you my tennis, but I have a spine problem at the moment, so I cannot move very well. So I can't play tennis for you. I was going to show you an 84-year guy who had this heart problem playing tennis. That's a good story, right? But I can't show you. I can show you my forehand, but that's all.
I'm Ray Calooy, the chairman of Filipino Cebuano Business Club. That's an SME organizations in Cebu, Metro Cebu. Our advocacy is more on promoting entrepreneurship sa countryside. Way back 2006, na hindi ko maintindihan yung anong feelings ko, yung parang ano kaya itong sakit.
Ano pong mga nararamdaman niyo that time?
Hindi ako makahinga or something like, I had a difficulty in breathing. And then tapos hindi na ako nakatulog. So sabi ko, kaya stress kaya to. Pero hindi naman ako, parang kasi sanay na ako ng hard work, sanay na ako sa mga stressful environment. Kasi parang kung stress is para sa akin is doing things which is against your will. Pero what I'm doing is always, ano ba, parang in love ko. So, parang walang chance tong stress. Hindi ko na matiis, kaya sabi ko ng asawa ko, punta muna tayo sa hospital. I was there for 3 days. So, 3 doctors. So, tinagyan that. Ano nila nakita, kahit ano na lang. Kahit ano na lang yung mga parang marami ng sakit. So, sinusitis, yung mga, kasi hindi ako nag-plug up. So, yung baka sa liver, hindi naman ako I don't smoke, I don't drink liquor. Lahat-lahat na mga yung analysis, yung laboratory, mga test. So, lahat-lahat ng mga test sa laboratories dinaanan. So, in terms of yung expense mo, laki-laki din. Laki-laki. So, tapos ang dami mga antibiotics. Pero sabi ko, Dok, ano kaya sakit ko? Hindi, naghintay muna kami sa mga result. May kaibigan ako na parang din nag-ano siya ng reflex, na ba? So, i-text ko siya, pwede punta ka sa hospital, magpa-reflex ko sa'yo. Tapos, parang nakahinga, and then nakatulog. So, parang after that nakatulog ako, na parang sabi ko, okay na, parang ganun ba? So, ako na nag-decide. After 3 days, sabi ko, Dok, lalabas na lang ako. Bakit? Okay na ba kayo? Ganon. Kahit okay, hindi, lalabas na rin ako. Kasi yung reflex, nag-ituto sa akin si Dok na, ano yung mo? Weak ka dito, yung digestive system mo. So yun pala, is a reflux.
Acid reflux.
Reflux lang. Itong dahilan, gano'n. Kung bakit hindi sinabi sa hindi sinabi sa mga doktor? Hindi sinabi bakit? So, ito yung mo. Sabi niya, don't worry. Don't worry. Iba tong sinisita to. Drink more water. Yun. 3 liters a day. Okay to. Wala kasi. Tapos yung more fruits, tuk. Ganon. Yun, sunod ko lahat. After a week, parang balik yung sigla ko, balik yung normal na na feelings. Tapos sinishare ko sa mother ko, kasi yung mother ko is almost 10 years na nagme-maintain ng kasi black. Pero despite na nag-maintain siya for almost 10 years, parang hindi siya happy. So tapos pinala ko sa kanya, yun pala yung mga parang simple lang, yung fruits, water, at saka yung don't worry, mga simple na parang hindi mo ma-explain ba. Ngayon, alam mo, mama mas healthy na siya, wala na siyang kakapukal, wala siyang worry. Balik na siya sa kanyang trabaho, sa mga garden, sa mga sabi niya, na kayo sa mga garden mo, kasi yung mga guys is 67 years old na. Tapos, lately, it was my father. My father naman, kasi yung father ko is, dati may bisyo ba? Sigarilyo, at saka inom. So, tagal yun ng inom ba? So, last March, dinala ko rito kasi unexplained na weight loss. So, na-expand. Kung anong doc dito sa yung sa ultrasound. Tapos may nakita na problema sa liver. Very, very visible kahit hindi pa yung laboratory niya. Pero sabi niya, talagang positive ng ganito. So sabi ni Doc na para to confirm, you will get another opinions. So, punta kami doon. So tapos doon na siya. Kahit sino, paano lang, may problema yung papa mo. So, kagad, ito, dalian natin. Sabi ng doktor doon. So, kailangan itong ano natin na gawin. It's either we have to, biopsy, then tapos, or para conclusive, MRI ba yan? So, gano'n. So, tapos, mag-start naman. Yun ang process, sinabi niya. Yung process, Yan, parang ito ang process. Tapos, sabi namin, Dok, magkano bang kaya magagasto namin to, ganun. So initially, huwag mo na usapan yung pera. Makikita natin mo. Importante yung buhay. Maybe, paano naman natin to pag hindi namin alam? Oo, di ba? Okay, initially, mga 20. 20,000. Kasi gano'n, ito. So, Dok, mag-meeting mo na kami pamilya. Meeting mo na, konsultahin mo na lahat na naman. So, sige, pero kailangan, kasi kailangan yan. Emergency yan. Kahit ngayon, pwede na natin na, observe. Or bukas. Usap na kami sa mga kapatid ko at mga malag ko. So, pero tinanong ko yung papa ko. Ko pa itong kayo mag-decide itong gagawin dito. At saka doon kay Doc, ito rin ang gagawin natin. Kayo. Kasi pwede naman rin maano namin yung pera kasi may naman yung kapatid ko iba. Pwede naman sila mga so, kasi sabi ko pa anong papa ko. So kayo mag-decide. Lang Doc. So balik kami kay doktor pagkabukasan. Noon, ano lang niya yung mga resita, yung vitamins, yung mga natural vitamins. Tapos yung mga prutas na guyabano, coffee enema, at saka yung biniblend yung mga fruits. Sabi ni Doc, after 1 month balik mo dito, tingnan natin. So after 1 month, Doc, di ba, it's almost more than 50%. Lumiit.
Mga ganun. Less na.
Lumiit. Yung ginagawa lang Papa is, yun lang. Parang wala siyang, hindi siya na-disturb sa kanyang ginagawa ng manok-manok. Ganun. Sasabong. So, parang hindi siya na-disturb. So, ngayon, the other day, he was celebrating 66th birthday. Sineselebrate namin yung birthday. Parang a sort of Thanksgiving na. Ngayon, Doc, is almost completely wala pang gastos. Hindi pa siya na porisyo. Hindi pa rin kami na parang hindi pa kami namin ay minabother. So, talagang dito is parang testament na kita ay isang natural. We born natural. We live natural. We eat natural. Therefore, we die natural. Sabi ko ni Doc, kung pwede, natin ito, parang i-preach sa mga tao na maraming walang may mga sakit na yung lang sa mga drugs natin ngayon, di ba? Sa mga drugs. Pwede pala na yung mga gamot is nandito lang sa ating kapaligiran. So nandito lang sa ating loob. Yes. So sabi ko, bakit dati, di ba? Dati we grew up in the province. Hindi naman kami nakapunta ng hospitals. Wala namang doktor sa amin ng yung mga sagbot, yung dahon-dahon lang. Yung mga doctor, inumin mo to. Yun ang laki ko dyan. So, parang nakunik ko dito This is a modern natural healing. It's parang upgraded. It's like a cell phone ba? Every now and then there's an upgrade of model. So now this is like a natural modern healing. So Dr. Romy Paredes is for me is a gift. Parang is a angel that sent God to us. Para na rin akong doktor, nagtuturo na rin ako pag may marinig ko na may ano siya, may sakit yung mga tao na hirap-hirap to, pero kahit hirap dinadala ng doktor. Pero sometimes masangla mo yung masangla mo yung lupa kasi, di ba? Every time you hear a doctor and say you do this, kawawa din. So sometimes I'm also a extended doctor. Parang alam ko na ito yung ano mo. So I help also the gospel ba of good health. Yun ang nakita ko na we have to control. We are the one who control our health rather than the doctor controls you. Sabi ni Torne, Dok, bakit nabubuhay si doktor na when nagkonsulta daw siya, 1 hour ka nag-explain, then you ask only 300 pesos. Sabi niya, sabi ko, kasi hindi naman, ano yung advocacy niya. Bakit hindi ka mabuhay pag 300 pesos per hour? Mabuhay pa rin kayo. Diba? Thank you for Kerigma. So, Brother Bo Sansis, I've been reading your books ever since. And pag may bago kayo doon sa National Bookstore, sigurado mayroon ko dyan.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.